And then the other article that I think we were all looking at yesterday, before my show ended, there was some rumors out there in regards to Jrue Holiday. So let me just kind of read this here real quick. And I think for a lot of people, there's going to be a question for, in regards to the Lakers is the long-term plan, the short-term plan. I just want to see one thing on Jrue Holiday. Just want to see how long his contract goes for. The interesting thing for me with Jrue Holiday, and let me just kind of give what the article says and what some of the reports were. And nobody's saying that this is going to happen. It's just, again, chatter around the NBA and always chatter around the Lakers. There's somebody that works for Fast Break Journal, Grant Afseth, and I also saw this. A couple of people aggregated this, and they took this on Twitter as well. Multiple sources recently told FastBreakJournal.com that Holiday is a name to monitor, particularly as a potential target for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's not to say active conversations are taking place, but his name continues to surface in NBA circles as the team evaluates options to add more talent around LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Other teams are monitoring the situation, though the Lakers are widely viewed as the most natural fit if Portland explores a deal. There was a chatter when Holiday gets traded from the Celtics, goes back to Portland. And there were conversations that he's not happy about it, was not happy with the idea, was not happy with the concept. He's on an expiring contract. He's set to make $32.4 million in 2025, 2026. So I think for those that are, obviously looking at, well, what is this contract? What would a contract like this mean big picture for the Lakers? What would a contract? Is this going to screw them up for the future? Jrue Holiday is obviously not a young player as well. He's been in the league for a long time. So I don't think, anybody saying that, yeah, Jrue Holiday's the future or anything like that. I mean, this upcoming year is going to be 36 years old. No, I'm sorry. He's going to be 35 years old. And he's got 2 years left. I'm looking at his contract right now. He's got 2 years left on his contract and then a player option for 2027, 2028. Here's my problem with the Jrue Holiday is that contract's just too big. And he's at an age now where 35 years old this upcoming season, 36 next year, and then what makes anybody think he's not going to pick up his player option for $37 million in the 2027-2028 year? I have a very difficult time thinking that Jrue Holiday wouldn't pick up that option, that wouldn't put himself in a position where he's going to get paid for X amount of years. But just based on that information, that to me doesn't really make any sense, to be honest with you. Way too much. If he was on an expiring contract and this was it for him, okay, that's a different conversation. But to go get Jrue Holiday and know that you got 2 years left guaranteed on his contract, and then he's got a player option in 2027, 2028, no, thank you. I mean, just frankly put, just to kind of simplify this, I like the player Jrue Holiday is. I like the champion Jrue Holiday is. Jrue Holiday has been a winner and a really good role player in a couple different stops that he's had. Obviously, Milwaukee being one of those, and his time in Boston. I'm not trying to get Jrue Holiday at age 35, 36, and probably at age 37. And frankly, that doesn't fit any of the plans that the Lakers have had in regards to what they're looking to do for the future. So this article talking about that the Lakers can be a potential target, that tells me that I think then if you come up with a plan like that where you're going out to try to get Jrue Holiday, that makes me think of the Lakers chasing their tail again rather than taking a deep breath. I mean, isn't this part of the reason why, I'll use as an example, they decided Jake LaRavia over Dorian Finney-Smith? Isn't this part of the reason why they didn't go out there and say, hey, we got to go get Brook Lopez or Clint Capella? It's like, no, why don't we just go get Ayton at 26 years old, who's going to be available in a buyout, can come to the Lakers, and then we're not really promising anything past 2 years max. And that's because either Marcus Smart or DeAndre Ayton or both of those players didn't have good years, and they come back to the Lakers at the $8 million and the $5 million or $5.5 million, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm not feeling that one. Not feeling that one. So the more details that I see in that one, for a quick second there, I did think that I did think for a quick second. I didn't know he still had 3 left on his contract. And I'm talking about Jrue Holiday, and then the third one, that third year is a player option. Does somebody want to tell me there is not a world that exists that Jrue Holiday is not taking that third player option, the third year of the player option, because he'll be 37 years old, making 36-ish or something along those lines. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments here. Let's see if people, if I'll only trade Holiday if they take Bando contract's nothing. That's $11 million a year. That's not a big deal. I think he's 4 years, $44 million. But Holiday on 30 plus at age 37, and I'm closer to 40 million. And by the way, I'm a fan of Jrue Holiday. I'm just that ain't happening. I didn't want a 35-year-old Holiday at 30 million. He's not the same player, just like DFS. We kept getting the player after their prime. There's one thing to say as well. If you told me it was an expiring contract, it'd be like, okay, that might make sense. But yeah, what the hell are the Blazers doing making that trade? I mean, that actually, to me, just I remember listening to Bill Simmons on his podcast. You guys know he's a big Celtics fan, and he kept saying to himself, he's like, why would they take on that contract? What's the reason for them? I know they didn't want to pay Anthony Simons, but maybe they just want to have him there with some of the youngsters. Holiday still has nearly $100 million, $3 million, or $100 million in 3 years left on his deal. Yeah, that is. I will say that if that was something to happen, I would have a completely different view on the Lakers again. It'd be like back to this kind of desperation. Thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.